Hey everybody, how's it going? Octopus here, and welcome back to Union Cross. We're going to be doing the Organization 13 event, which is Vexen B. Basically, this medal is a tank medal. This medal is incredible for multiplayer, for raid bosses, anything you need to survive multiple turns. This guy is basically a hint towards the new meta of multiplayer. It's going to be something on the lines of, we're going to have our attack buddies, the players that come in our party. There's 6 of us. 2 people might be dedicated to just reviving and tanking, and having a Keyblade full of buffers like this that buff your defense might be the whole case of multiplayer when it gets really challenging. There could be a tank player, there could be a character for just main damage deals, there could be so on and so on, guys. This is just a future sight to what they want to do with multiplayer. I'm pretty sure on this, because why else would you want to survive for multiple turns besides raid bosses and multiplayer? Everything else says complete in 1 turn. So I'll go into more detail about this guy near the end of the video or in another video if I do a spotlight. But basically, I'm going to show a bunch of setups for each situation to hopefully give everybody an idea, or maybe some of you guys can copy these things. Everything's not perfect, everything's not free to play versus cheap to play, but it's very close to free to play, and is free to play actually. So for the first guy, Snowman, a lot of you guys might not be having an issue. What this is directed towards new players, anybody who started during Maleficent B, Hercules and Phil, or even any new players who got super lucky and pulled a couple medals and got guilt on them. What you want to do here, if you don't have enough HP because you're not level 200 or above, and this goes for all the rest of this, you did complete the quest before this and you got the character, the Vexen B medal. Vexen B, if this is only if you cannot survive after a certain amount of turns versus a Snowman because you just get one-shotted or something. Basically, this guy right here, just slap him on your Keyblade and you'll survive. Now the thing about the Snowman is that he has buffs and general buffs. So he has attribute buffs and general defense buffs. So just a quick thing, your friend medal has to be, it doesn't have to be, but use a medal that lowers the general defense of the enemy, because he does defense buff himself. So you want to get rid of that defense buff if you don't have Belle or Alice or Antiform Sora. That's another reason I'm using these setups and not the setups with those medals that remove buffs, because a lot of people don't have Illustrated Belle and Beast, a lot of people don't have Belle, Alice, or Antiform Sora. So a lot of these strategies are going to go towards not using those medals. So obviously, wherever you see this guy or another medal that could be replaced, it's supposed to be a Belle or Alice or Antiform Sora, whatever you guys got. That's what that's supposed to be. So you take away him and you add your medal that takes away buffs, and there you go. But just a quick little show on this. This is the Snowman. The point of this strategy here is a turtle. You don't have to one-turn this guy. All you got to do is survive and take away his HP. Obviously, the problem with this guy is his buffs. So you're going to have your ×3 buffer, regardless if it's Sebastian, Illustrated Kairi, basically anything that does ×3 buff. If you have enough HP, you can take this guy away and add a Diz with a Pooh, and that's a ×3 buff there. So even if you don't have a Kairi or Little Mermaid or any of that, you can use a ×2 buffer and a ×1 buffer on this Keyblade strategy if you can survive a couple hits, if some of your medals have second chance or defense boost, so on and so on. But the whole point is here is to survive. Again, this is for lower level players. Anybody who's level 300 is probably not even having a problem with this Snowman. So Kairi's going to be taking away the tribute buffs. Hercules is going to do hopefully some damage. He does about 20,000 damage, over 20,000 damage if attack boost 3 goes off. And then Chip and Dale's obviously, because Zigbar and Hercules are very expensive. So your friend Zigbar, when he does general defense himself, will take it away, and it does a good amount of damage. Now this is just rinse and repeat until it's all over, because now that you have Vexen B's buff on you, you don't have to worry about dying, and your Kairi, either this Kairi or the next Kairi, is going to be healing you. Again, if you are surviving the hits and you need a healer, take away Vexen B and add a healer like Minnie or Daisy, whatever one you guys got. So you just keep on doing this over and over and over again until you beat this guy. See, 29,000 HP, it's possible. You still have your Nova. There you go. You keep doing this all the way to the end. It gets worse because he gets more general defense buffs, he gets more tribute buffs, he gets a little bit stronger, but eventually you'll turtle this guy to death, and that's exactly what I did. I made sure I passed all of these with the strategies I'm recommending. So I'm not going to complete it because it's just too long of the video. Everything else is straightforward. This guy right here, again, if you are new to the game, you basically don't have the medals people have. Moana, Maui, stuff like that. So I'm trying to stay away from that, but you should have medals that do buffs and debuffs, because you're 5 pulls from the Mercy. But also, I will show you some strategies on this guy. Give me 1 second. Alright guys, so here we go. This is number 10 for the warrior here, the armored warrior, basically 2 setups you guys can use. You can put your ×3 buffer with a Kyrie or a Diz, so your ×4 strength buffer. So down in equipment, I'm going to show you real quick. Right here, guys, if you just do something like this, because we did get a free Diz, so I know everybody has Diz. Basically, you put Diz right here, and now you have a ×4 strength buffer with your Kyrie, your Hercules, and then that last guy, he does do some damage if you guilt him. Again, not needed. Basically, he's just there because he tickles a little bit. If you guys have anything that fits in the last slot, like if you pulled yourself some really good reverse, or sorry, upright magic metal or speed metal. Wow, I screwed up twice. You can use that there. Or basically, if you got one of these guys, he doesn't have to be guilted. He will do damage because it's 3.0 multiplier. So put that there instead. But again, I'm just trying to go towards new players that are just about a month old. And I can't really give any recommendations for anyone who started the anniversary because it all depends on what you pulled during your 5 mercy pulls or your 10 pulls. It all depends what you pulled will determine how your game is, but hopefully you just get some information off this. So that's that strategy, or you can use this strategy. Again, everybody else who has Classic Donald, HD Aqua, Moana, you guys are set. Just put those on your, sorry about the noise, someone subscribing, thank you. Basically, you just put those on your Keyblade and you're good to go. Divine Rose. You go Divine Rose, Moana here, Zigbar B, you guys are set. But for anyone else who's new, I'm just trying to go really basic here. You can use this setup too as well. It's the exact same thing, but you got power from Maleficent B and Hercules and Phil. Again, my Mughal Glory is only plus 13. I have a strategy guide up for that, and it's a lot easier now to get the Mughal Glory to maxed out. Very, very easy. But again, here we go. Olympia, only level 25. I'm going to do the bare minimum. Again, we're only facing single target enemy, so Zigbar B is your friend, guys. I'm trying to stay all event medals, not trying to go crazy. You guys can really just rely on pure buffs on your Keyblade and then use a really good maxed out gilted medal, and that would be good as well if you're new to the game. Just make sure you have a whole bunch of buffs for your friend medal, or at least one of your attacking medals and the friend medal. But you guys see the strategy here. ×3 buff, Kyrie buffs everybody, second Kyrie buffs everybody and debuffs him. Attack boost 3 goes off, use your Nova. Again, this guy in the end's not needed, but if you are new, you can probably guilt him because he does a little bit of damage without any level. He's level 1 out of 100. He has no attack boost, so on and so on. You guys can see he is tickling him, so if he was guilted with an extra 1000 attack on him or extra attack, he would be doing some damage, but obviously not needed. Zigbar B takes him out. There's a bunch of strategies out there, guys. Again, I'm just trying to make this as simple as possible to give people some ideas, because nowadays it's hard to make a strategy for everybody, especially because everyone's just starting now. I just want to show you guys how to build a Keyblade properly and what you guys can get away with just event medals. Event medals will take care of you guys throughout so much. And then you save all your jewels, and then you pull for important medals like this Kyrie. That's how you guys should be playing the game. Use event medals to pass stuff and only pull for the important banners. So that's quest 10. Quest 10 was okay. For this quest right here, it's about the same thing. You basically go in there, you run to the end and use the same strategy I just showed you, either with Maleficent B or Hercules and Phil, and it cleans this up real quick because use the same medal, the friend medal, Hercules, Zigbar B. Your medals are going to be AoE medals, and then you run in there, and then your friend medal is going to finish off the closet. Easy kill. So the one that's the hardest for everybody here is this guy right here, number 13. So there's a bunch of different strategies. Let me brainstorm right here because I was playing them and I didn't screenshot them. I didn't write them down. I just kept them mixing up my Keyblades. But there is a bunch of different strategies for this guy. So be right back. Alright, so this is the first strategy I used. Was basically a ×3 buffer, Bell, and then my Roll of Final Fantasy Sephiroth's not guilted, guys. He just does a little bit of damage, enough to tickle these guys to death. But obviously, it's a little bit harder because of that. I basically used my friend's medal, Maleficent B, with extra attack on it, and this is how this went. There's other medals. Again, I'm just thinking to event medals. This is a lot simpler if you have really good friend medals. You guys are basically set. But I'm trying to go bare minimum here and showing what you guys can do, because I'm pretty sure a bunch of other people are giving recommendations, your friends, people on YouTube, Discord, all that. But Bell and Beast, the most common thing to use is that, because it takes away everybody's buffs. Then you just gotta buff a little bit. Moana obviously is gonna do a big chunk. She's also gonna buff. Use your World of Final Fantasy Sephiroth. This is towards more veteran players. Not too veteran, but enough that I shouldn't use that, by the way, because Moana skips an attack there now. But if I didn't do that, Moana's attack would have been buffed on her. So she would have been doing a little bit more damage, and this would have been a clean kill. But because I used my Nova after Moana, that ruins the damage here. But if you guys can see right there, it's still enough because attack boost 4 went off. So that's a strategy you guys can use. Another strategy is the same exact setup, but if you don't have a bell, but you do have, in this case, a ×6 buffer. So let's say you have 2 Sebastians, or you do have a Kairi now and you have a Sebastian. Boom, ×6 buff really goes over all those buffs the enemy has. Let me show you real quick right now. Again, I'm gonna go over a bunch of strategies just to help you guys see if I can help you clear most of this. I'm gonna show you at least 6 setups, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more. I'm not sure yet, but the best thing for me to do for you guys is just show you a bunch of setups I could come up with. Again, there's probably way more out there, so if you can, leave it in the comment section. But here we go. ×6 strength buff should override all these attribute buffs. No problem, no question about it. Right here, if Moana's attack boost 2 goes off, this would be heavy damage. And then Sephiroth here, and then don't forget that don't use your Nova after Moana, use it before Moana. But even with attack boost 4 not going off here, guys, you can see the amount of damage, it's already different. Moana's attack boost 2 didn't go off, and this Maleficent's attack boost 4 didn't go off. So no attack boost went off, but because I have a ×6 strength buffer, there you go, it was pretty much a kill if at least one of those attack boosts went off. So that's strategy number 2. Now that's for older players, players who are lucky, player who got 2 ×3 buffers and didn't fuse them together, so on and so on. So now let's go a little bit more basic than this. So we do have strategies where we're going to take away Moana here, and we're going to add just the young Kairi. Even young Kairi, guys, if you do have her, put her right here, throw some chips on her if you have to. I wouldn't recommend putting attack boost, but if you have attack boost 1s or 2 laying around and you have multiple copies, then slap an attack boost 2 on her. But even this with a ×6 buffer is more than enough. I'm not going to show an example of it because it's straightforward, just like Moana. You guys saw Moana's buff didn't go off, but if your friend Metal's buff went off, it would have worked. Again, there's no really replacement for this because your Marluxia B is not going to do enough damage. He's going to do some damage, but not enough compared to World Final Fantasy Metal because he is super effective to all attributes, and that's why I'm showing you that. Alright, so for the next strategy is the Mughal Glory. The Mughal Glory, I tested out the Kairi and the ×3 buffer. It doesn't work. Again, if you have 2 ×3 buffers, this is more than enough to take this down. Basically, Hercules and Phil and Maleficent B combined on the Mughal Glory. The higher your Mughal Glory, the better. The more guilt you have on your Maleficent B, the better. Mine's 83%. I have extra attack, or an extra 1,000 attack really works on this. So just to show you guys, I'm going to go in again. Again, you guys can be using World Final Fantasy friend medals that will annihilate these bosses here, even if they have the buff on them. But the strategy here, ×3 buffer, Bell, and then those medals, or ×6 buffer, and then those next medals that you see on my Keyblade saw here. So we're going to go for the strategy of the ×6. So we're going to ×6 them. We're going to use our Kairi here, and hopefully attack boost 2. Again, I don't have attack boost 3 on her because I didn't have the skill, but attack boost 2, as you guys can see, with a ×6 buffer, is way more than enough. If you guys got World of Chaos, Moana, then you put that there instead because it will buff. But here we go, a second attack boost 2 does go off. It's only 40% damage, but it's still good damage. And then we use Hercules and Phil. If his attack boost 3 went off, he would do more damage, and then friend metal. But because I don't have 19, I don't have enough here, guys. I don't have enough here. But this is a possibility if your Mughal Glory is at level 25. I just want to put that out there, that even at level 13 Mughal Glory, no attack boost 3, no max guilted Maleficent B, this is a strategy for anybody who has a maxed out, not even maxed out, a level 25 Mughal Glory. So that's another option you guys have here. I'm probably missing some options, but I just wanted to show you this as much as possible. Alright, here's another strategy that could work without a bell. Basically, if she is at 100% or she has 1,000 extra attack instead of extra attack, if she has an extra 1,000 attack here, she can really do a lot of damage to these guys. But either one is fine. The whole thing is here, I only have an attack boost 2, and she's not 100% guilted. If she had attack boost 3 and 100% guilted, or attack boost 4, whatever you guys prefer on her, that's what you guys should be using on her. But whatever you guys have, she should have an attack boost 3, and she should be fully guilted. And this will be more than enough to take this out on the 3 Wishes Keyblade. So 2 ×6 ×3 buffers to make 6 strength buff will try to be as good as using a bell. And obviously using bell will be a lot better, but it depends what kind of metals you have. If you have really strong metals like this at 100% gilted, then obviously ×6 strength is good enough. As you guys can see here, even with the second attack, it's still over, what is that, 86, that's 32,000 damage, more than 32,000 damage with an attack boost 2 and not fully gilted. We have our Nova. Nova's only level 59 on this, and then we use our friend metal here. So if all the attack boosts went off and if my Maleficent B was fully gilted, you guys can see here, this is fully possible with doing this. Very, very possible. Just got to go in there, use the attack boost 2 or attack boost 3. I don't even think 100% gilted is needed. Over 80% should be more than enough. It's just that I don't have attack boost 3 on there, and actually attack boost 2 might have been enough there. So that's another strategy for this guy. Or you guys can do, like I said, the bell version. So we're going to take away aerial fauna here. We're going to put in bell, because bell removes everything. If you guys have illustrated bell and beast, that works. That basically you have these two metals combined. But obviously a lot of people didn't buy VIP, and I'm trying to help as many people as possible. So this is the weakest forms I could find and do. Here we go. This is another one. 3 wishes, level 25, nothing too spectacular, no Moana, so I'm not going way back. If you guys have Moana, trust me, you are already passing this. You shouldn't even be watching this video, actually. If you have Moana, Classic Donalds, HD Aquas, all that, this whole event was super easy for you. I'm just trying to go with as minimum as possible, and I just pulled this bell. I didn't have bell before. I got this bell for my 5 Mercy pull for this Kyrie. So with bell, Kyrie, this Kyrie, and then Maleficent B, hopefully attack boost 2 goes off. There you go, guys. There you go. Look at all that damage. That is an insane amount of damage. Attack boost 2 doesn't go off again, but obviously, look at where we're at on the HP here. If I had max gilted and attack boost 3 on her, this would have been done. Attack boost 4 doesn't go off of my friend metal. This is basically the end right here, but look at the last HP that guy has. That is an attack boost 3 with 100% gilted. No question asked. Also, if you put an APP on top of your Kyrie, your young Kyrie, you guys can restore enough SP to double cast that next Maleficent B. So this strategy, very possible, especially if you put 1,000 chips on young Kyrie. You can do it. Attack boost 3 on your Maleficent B, you can do it. 100% gilted Maleficent B, you can do it. This is all strategies you guys can use. Now, obviously, if you do one of these, if you guys pulled, let's say, right here, if you pulled a World of Chaos, deals 7 extremely powerful hits, raises magic base strength by 2 tiers for 2 turns. So if we use him there, it works. If we use Moana there, it works. Anything you guys have that are, actually let's just use a filtering system. Attribute buffs, here we go. So obviously if we use that or Moana right here, guys, or even use a combination of all this instead of a bell or a ×3 buffer, this might work too. Let's try that out. I gotta put this here because it's only good for 3 attacks. Let's test that out. If you guys have a World of Chaos, it doesn't even have to have damage on it. I don't know why my notifications are going off. It's never happened before. But let's try this out. Let's try using this. Again, World of Final Fantasy friend metal, guys. No question about it. You guys would be totally fine right now. But let's try this one out right here. This is fully buffing magic damage. So our Maleficent B and our friend Maleficent B is going to do a ton of damage. So we got ×3 buff. We got ×2 magic buff. Now we're going to have a ×3 magic buff. So here you go. Wow, my notifications are going off. There's another buff. So now we're at maxed out ×7 blue buff right there. Or ×6. Did I count that wrong? Moana's 3. Oh yeah, it is 6. Sorry, it's 6. But anyways, here we go. Attack boost 2 with the 6 buff is 24,000 damage a hit. 24,000 damage a hit, guys. So a bunch of blue buffs. Works out perfectly. There you go. And then friend metal, if attack boost 4 goes off, that should be good to go, guys. More than enough. There you go. So if you don't have Bell and you have World of Chaos, you have a Moana, just mix a bunch of buffs together, guys, and it'll be totally fine. Again, Bell is probably the best strategy for this. Using this on the Mughal Glory is probably a lot better as well too. If you guys have Mughal Glory at a good multiplier, this at a 2 point something, and again, if she's attack boost 3 or 100% gilted, that works out beautifully. But this all works out, guys. It all depends on what you have. For this right here, you do need some a lot more help. You need a lot more help with using Olympia. I wouldn't recommend Olympia, but this strategy works. Take away Sebastian, use Belle instead to remove the buffs. That works too. You don't need Moana. Kyrie's more than enough there. So on and so on, guys. Hopefully you have more strategies. Leave it down in the comments, but this is all I came up with real quick. If you guys want, you guys can use the strategy of putting Moana here or Mana here. Move the Kyrie up here. Let me just make that for you actually. Put the Kyrie up here, not the ×3 buffer. You guys can use a ×3 buffer if you want to as well. But yeah, so Moana, you throw Moana on the bottom there, right here. She's gonna do all the damage. Roll Final Fantasy Sephiroth, and then if you guys want more strength buff, you guys can do more strength buff if you really want, or use that Belle like I told you before. Use the Belle. She's right here. Just put her down before all this if you really want to make some use of something. Actually, it doesn't really matter what order you put any of these guys in. It's these two where they're going to do all the damage and your friend medal. So mix and match, guys. Mix and match. Go crazy. Hopefully this gave you some ideas. Again, it's nothing perfect. It's nothing going to say free-to-play players that are very new are going to be able to pass this. But hopefully this gives you a bunch of ideas. Even the 3 wishes, even if you don't have Divine Rose or Olympia and all that, 3 wishes works out beautifully as well. Let me know in the comments once again if you have other strategies for other players, not towards me. Obviously I passed the whole event, but I want the whole community to help each other, guys. So here's a bunch that I came up with. If I find more that are very dead on, I will post them, but leave everything else in the comment section to help other players. Just say, this was my build, I did this, and this was my friend medal, and hopefully this helps out everybody, because this medal right here is going to be very, very good for multiplayer, guys. The reason that I'm so hyped about this is that it is making a tank character. It's like an RPG, guys. Basically, you're going to have everybody else who does damage, and then you're going to have one guy who's dedicated, or 2 guys who are dedicated to reviving people. Because if you have defense boost and all that on this medal here, guys, it's going to be insane of how much damage you can get away with. You're not going to be doing damage, but you can survive. He's reversed, my bad. So you can survive. Now, if you get the trait of extra attack on this guy, I'm just going to roll once just to see if I can get the trait. If you get extra attack on him, you're basically set. Do this like this. Do this, combine 2 of them. So you do your 1 combine. If you get extra attack on this one right here, make another copy and keep that. So we have defense boost. Defense boost is good. Now let's not touch that one just in case, and let's grab another one and combine those 2 together. So I'm going to combine these 2 together. Again, you're not losing your chances here, because you put these 2 together, it's a bad trait, you put it back in the other medal. That was still 2 chances. That's still the same thing, guys. You're eventually going to guilt him, but if you don't guilt him and you get 2 extra attack versions of him, like this right here, so boom, I got 1. I'm not guilting this medal, guys. I'm now going to keep him separate. This guy is 1. Now we have another 2 to combine. So, alright, so now we grab another copy. So we're going to level up this one. The defense boost 2000, I don't really care about that. I want to make another copy of extra attack. I think I fused it into the other one. It's not a big deal. It's not what I'm going for. So double make sure. There you go. That down there. Nothing down there. Let's combine these 2 together and see if we can get another extra attack. So basically what you want is extra attack on 2 copies or 3 copies. I would say 2 of these medals on a slot for a tank is more than enough, especially if you get extra attack. Poison resist. Have a bunch of different ones, guys. Have a bunch of different ones that do different things. Obviously, I screwed up and I combined my one that already had 2 dots on it onto this one, but it's not a big deal. That's what I really wanted. I can guilt this guy and be straightforward and happy with that. So anything that you got to trade on, just lock it if you just finished re-rolling it, and then try again right here. So we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 copies exactly. So obviously there would have been 1 laying around that you didn't need to guilt. But like I said, I combined the one that had defense boost on it. That was my mistake, but it's not a big mistake. I don't really care. What I really wanted was that extra attack on one of them, because you're going to have more than enough defense and all that. So hopefully another extra attack or make up for my mistake of defense boost. Max gauges. That's fine too, guys. More max gauges. That's totally fine. But what you guys did want is this one right here with the extra attack. But that's my recommendation, guys. Keep 3 copies. Keep 3 copies and get a trade on them. If you get 2 of them with extra attack, boom, beautiful. As the medal itself, for being an attack medal, Very good attack medal as well, guys. Fully guilted because he does a single hit. Again, high score challenges. If you don't have a high score challenge medal right now and your Mughal Glory's at a good place, or just use 3 wishes, this guy is good for a single huge hit. And because of his skill, if you guys have the extra attack on him, his skill will let you survive multiple turns in the high score challenge. So if anything, I might level this guy up. I might level this guy up and make him super strong because he has extra attack. Fully guilt him. Again, I recommend more than 1 copy for this guy because he raises speed and magic based defense. So every speed boss you're going to face and every magic boss you're going to face, you're going to survive with this medal. Then obviously we're going to have to use other medals like Young Kairi. We can use Young Kairi in that situation instead of him for all attribute buffs. So a good combination. But the thing that he's so good is that this buff carries over for 4 turns. So because I have extra attack on this, on turn 3 by himself, I'm going to have a ×6 buff. So turn 1, extra attack, I have 2 buff. On turn 2, extra attack, I have a 4 buff. On turn 3, extra attack, I have a 6 buff. And then turn 4, my buffs are still there and I use him once, I have a ×7 buff. And that's probably overboard, but you guys can see the potential of having 2 copies on your Keyblade setup. You go 1, 1 on both of them with extra attack, so you're wasting 4 SP, but on turn 1 you'll have 4 defense of speed or magic, which is incredible. So there is a tank meta coming up, guys, for multiplayer. Obviously, one player is probably going to be the reviver and just surviving the hits, have second chance on him, have defense boost on him, have a version of him that has some kind of, some kind of poison resist or paralysis resist, sleep resist, so you don't get put to sleep during certain raid bosses. We don't know what the future holds for raid bosses, so there's a bunch of things we can look forward to. But I don't recommend guilting him unless you want to use him as your main attack medal for the high score challenge. He is good. He's got over a 3 multiplier, but you guys got to take consideration that he's also something else for the future. So again, that multiplier is a 2.87. It's only good after so many turns. I think it's after the 2nd turn or 3rd turn. So the more turns that pass, the more strong you get. So obviously, he is a medal you can use for high score challenges, but that's about it. He is a really good single hit high score challenge medal, but he's not as powerful as other ones because his multiplier is only at 3, where like if you use a strategy of Hercules and Phil for the high score challenge, he's a single hit and he's got a multiplier of 3.36 all the time. So it's up to you guys what you want to do. It's about the same thing, actually. It's about the same thing for the damage that he does. So if you don't want that extra attack and you want an extra 1,000 attack on him, you can do that too. But all up to you guys. I'm just showing the recommendation of using him as a tank medal to make yourself a tank character for multiplayer, because that might be important later. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for this video. I rambled probably too much. Too many ideas are probably wrong, but I feel they're very strong and very good. It could be a possibility, or just guilt them and have fun with them, guys. But either way, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll see you in the next one.